How's it going, guys? This is the Core 3 from FightingGamesOnline.info, and I'm back with another first look for King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match. Now I want to give a very big shout out to Dream Cancel for giving away some of the Steam beta codes so that we could try this out before it actually releases. The game is going to release on February 27th on Steam for digital download. So I just wanted to go over some of the game, just kind of go over a little bit of background about King of Fighters, and basically just talk about the characters and tell you about the net play for the game. Now, without a doubt, King of Fighters is one of my favorite fighting games. Probably like it more so than a lot of the fighting games I've played, and for various reasons. Now, if you're new to King of Fighters, I just wanted to kind of just give you a little bit of background about the fighting game and where it comes from and stuff like that. So the long and the short is that the game was created by SNK. If y'all familiar with Neo Geo, which was an old system back in the day, they created several games, and after the fighting game boom came with Street Fighter, they started creating a lot of fighting games. And KOF basically just happened to be a crossover title. Now, a lot of the characters from this game came from Art of Fighting, Fatal Fury, which was one of their popular fighting game SNK titles. And then they even had characters that came from non-fighting games such as Ikari Warriors and Psycho Soldiers. So the first title came in '94. It introduced some new characters as well, such as Kei Kusanagi. And then from there, they basically just went up every year. They started coming out with one for every year. And it went all the way up until 2003. And then after 2003, they decided to change it to numerals. So from there, basically it stops at King of Fighters 13, which is now available on Steam, and we've actually done a review if you want to check that out. So basically, during the time that King of Fighters 13 came out, there was rumors going around about them possibly giving us 2002 as well as King of Fighters 98. But we didn't really hear anything until last year, where they actually announced they were going to come out with King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match Final Edition, and then of course after that come out with King of Fighters 2002. Now, I also wanted to do a review for 98, and I probably do plan to have one in the future. But the other reason that I want to really talk about 2002 is because a lot of people before KOF 13 came out were saying that you should probably play 2002 because there are a lot of similarities to 2002 that they had in KOF 13. So this is kind of why I kind of really wanted to talk about it and kind of recommend it for the people who've already played 13 and are just looking to play more King of Fighters. There's a lot of things that you'll find in 13 that basically come from 2002, such as your drive cancels. You'll find a similar mechanic like that in 2002. Same thing with HD cancels. You'll also find a similar mechanic. So a lot of the things that you saw in KOF 13 basically draw from 2002. What you probably won't find from King of Fighters 13 that you'll find in 2002 are characters. And not only characters, but you'll also find movesets. When they first created King of Fighters 12, they basically stated they were going back to basics. And so some of the characters' movesets were basically lost in 2012 and also in 13. So the biggest thing you'll notice with some of your favorite characters is that they have a lot more moves at their disposal. So that's definitely a great reason to get into 2002. Another great reason to get 2002 is for the newer characters. Once 99 came, it introduced a lot of characters that you're probably familiar with, like Kei, Maxima, and Kula. You'll even find a character who basically was featured in one of Kula's super moves on this game. I think another plus about this game are some of the complexities of these characters. Certain characters, their movesets are very take a lot of time basically to learn. One of the characters that stands out to me is Mei Lee. She basically has two styles that she can switch into. One is like a hero, and one is just her regular, where you'll see her basically change and she's wearing a cape and her stance changes. And it looks like you can basically go back and forth between these two modes. And of course they have different special moves for each mode. There's also Vanessa. She has a boxing style. and essentially, you just have different move sets for what she does. And then there's Angel, who seems like is another complex character. She has a lot of target style combos that allow her to do a lot of crazy mix-up type things. So if you enjoy King of Fighters, I definitely recommend that you pick this game up. If not for like graphics, pick them up for the characters. There are a lot of characters to learn. Hopefully we will get a new King of Fighters, but in the meantime, this is definitely something to consider. So last but not least, we're going to get into I guess the net play. I know a lot of you might be wondering how the net code is for this game, and I have to say that it is very good for both 98 and for 2002, and there's a reason why. Code Mystics were responsible for handling the net code, and I guess a few other things like the interface and all that for the game. And basically when it first came out for 98, there were a few problems. People weren't as happy with the net code, but these guys decided to do a beta, and with the beta they improved a whole lot for 98, and people were very happy with it. And so when 2002 came out, they went ahead and they were the programmers for 2002. Because they've already kind of had the experience with working with 98, it was, I think, really easy for them to come over to 2002 and basically do the same things that they did in the previous one. And it really does show. I mean, it really didn't seem like there were too many issues with this beta version for 2002. Now, for some people, this may be a make or break thing, but the netcode runs on input delay. For some people, they prefer rollback, which is, of course, if you're familiar with GGPO, you know a little bit of what rollback technology is. Despite this being input delay, I can tell you that Code Mystics did a great job on it regardless. There are basically a lot of features that they added that will give you a lot more control over your net play. And one of the biggest features is that you can go to your options and basically set the input delay to a certain max. So you have up to about maybe 20 frames, I believe, delay that you can set it up to for your connections. And then of course you can set it to some point, you can set the max to whatever you want to. And of course that can help when you're actually online playing against other opponents. In addition to that feature, you also have the ability to actually see the input delay while you're actually in a match. So you can actually see it kind of go up and down depending on what sort of connection you have. As you can see in the matches, I chose to keep it to show the input delay, so I have a good idea of how the matches are going. And it did pretty well. Most of the input delay was pretty stable when I was playing with different people. Now, most of the matches that I had were pretty much between like about 150 ms, and also like probably a little bit above that with certain people. So that's pretty much where I was with most of the players. And like I said, it played pretty good. I would have like basically about a 4 input delay on these matches, and they ran very well for the most part. Of course, from what I understand, 2 frame delay is actually the best one. So you want to be able to get like a 2 frame delay or lower. But the matches were good. There was no lag, between the matches. I can tell you that this is definitely a very big improvement over the Xbox Live versions. I have both of them, and believe me, the netcode was not this good on those 2 versions. If there was anything to be disappointed about, I would say probably just the fact that there's missing lobby and spectator modes. But that's pretty much it. I mean, there hasn't really been a King of Fighters version as yet that had those 2 features. So it would be definitely nice to see when they come out with the next one. So that's pretty much it. The King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited match will be here on February 27th. And I definitely recommend that like I said, if you're a KOF fan, that you pick the title up. If you're new to KOF, I do definitely recommend it as well. Even though the King of Fighters 13 is vastly superior when you're talking about like animation and graphics and stuff like that. But KOF 2002 definitely has the mechanics, and it definitely has a lot more characters for you to choose from. So I'm gonna be putting a link for Dream Cancel. Of course, anything KOF related, you definitely want to check them out. There's a great community. And I'm also going to put the link for KOF 2002 in the description box as well.